everyone, this is episode 40 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is the biggest Isaiah Floor hater, OSG. How's it going,
But
OSG?
oh yeah, pretty good. Especially since we're recording right after the Dose game, so y'all know how we feel now without having to explain very much of it. So I'm okay, bro. I'm okay. It's a decent weekend. 1-1-1 if you want to count all three teams. So
Yeah,
take it,
not
I guess.
not all three teams tied uh, compared to last week, which may be a good thing or a bad thing depending how you want to interpret that. But yeah, I mean, OSG just mentioned it. I am a little bit upset from the Dynamo 2 game because they had the full momentum in the first half. They completely
What?
blew it in the second half, and we'll leave it at that so we can save it for the episode. But yeah, it's been an interesting week, mostly just because the Dynamo got their fourth win in a row at home to start the season, and they're currently in a pretty good spot in the standings. And the Dash had a pretty weird week, to say the least. and
And the damn Kansas City Current, bro. The damn Kansas City Current, who there are the Dash's Achilles heel, man. I can't stand the Current. Cannot stand them. So we got to find a way to
yeah,
beat them girls, especially when they keep coming to our house and beating us, and we can't even score against them either.
but
So
yeah.
that was definitely a frustrating start to our week.
No, yeah, and I guess in league play we're still undefeated, and according to the Dash, they're in the best start of the season in Dash history. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. And yeah, just before we get started, for this episode and for this week, actually, we did record an instant ramen with a focus on Tampa Rowdies, which is going to be our next opponent for the Open Cup this upcoming Wednesday. And we did record that with James Knowles from the RBLR Rowdies podcast. So keep a lookout for that one. Should be coming out at the same time as this episode whenever it drops. So should be pretty good. Should be out by Monday morning. So as soon as you hear this one, check out that one. It's gonna be pretty good.
Tampa Bay could be dangerous. Could be dangerous.
Hey man, Corey Bird's gonna start that game. He may score a hat trick. He may score an own goal hat trick. I don't know how it's gonna go, but we'll
I
see.
don't know how. I don't know how he's going to score one, not only three. So good luck.
Hey man, he did score that assist again. Another Corey Bird assist, but we'll save it for a Donovan conversation.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
say, but yeah, guys, check out the latest instant ramen that should be dropping out at the same time as this one. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the episode. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Dash since they started play on Wednesday and they did play two games this past week. And the first one being against the KC Currents, a 2-0 loss at home on Wednesday to start the Challenge Cup. And I watched that game live and I hated it. I hated it so much because nothing happened in both halves, and we did not do anything. And obviously, like coming into this game, it was expected that they were going to rotate or at least put like a lot of the reserve players. But long story short, nothing worked, and there's definitely stuff that needs to work out.
Yeah, for real, dude. And like you said, to make things clear, they did play the second team, the entire second team. I think it was only Jane Campbell and
Chappie,
Jacobs, Chappie that played from the main starting 11. So rotated lineup, and like man, like you said, it was frustrating to watch because we could not get nothing going in the attack, nothing at all. And that was what Michelle Alozi, your girl Barb, and
yeah,
then who were the other two up there? I think it was
it was
uh,
Cameron Tucker, Michelle Losi, and Courtney Peterson was the front.
yeah, and they just couldn't get nothing together. And Alozi was trying to make runs left and right, but nothing just ever worked. Nothing came through, and the only bright spot that I saw from that game was Sophie Hurst, who played pretty well in that midfield, and just on her performance alone, she might earn herself some more playing time this season, and she looked pretty good though. So, but otherwise, yeah, it's just annoying to lose to Kansas City Current again at home again. and not
Oh yeah,
score on them again. Like God,
again.
again.
And I mean, my biggest gripe was definitely just the midfield, which hurts me to say because Barbara Olivieri started that game, and I expected better from her, but unfortunately, like it's like nothing clicked essentially in the sense that pretty much all the plays I went through or tried to like go to the midfield didn't uh, turn towards the final third, or the plays got completely broken down, and it was just annoying to see because it wasn't like a big issue on the first half, just there, but also in the second half, and they're pretty much playing towards like nothing really. They were not building anything at all, which really hurts to see.
Well, and just to prove how bad it was and how nothing was clicking, nothing was working. We brought in, we changed the top three forwards in the cam at what 20 something minute mark, or not, sorry, left in the game, and brought in the friggin' all stars, friggin' Olive, not Oliveri, sorry, Ordonez and Salmon and Sanchez and if I
Yeah,
forget the cam they brought in, and it still didn't work at all. Still couldn't click, still couldn't find nothing, and we're like, this is just crazy. Or no, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So like, what the heck, bro?
No, yeah, past the 58th minute, pretty much all the players that I mentioned, and it was Joel Anderson as well that she
That's
entered
right.
the game for Olivieri, but still, like they were running early, somewhat early in the second half, like enough time to make a difference, and it didn't seem like it. So it's just one of those things they're gonna have to figure out, especially trying to come back from a big deficit even at home, which shouldn't be happening in the first place. And thankfully, this is something that's happening early, so they can see it. But well, yeah, it's just annoying, and also the fact that CC Kaiser scored both goals, former Dash player that should have been traded in the first place,
Yeah.
scored those two goals. She's still amazing, which I hated because she's not with the Dash still, and yeah, just annoying all around.
So the question was asked, and then I'll pose this question to you: that the would Lady in the Dash take this tournament seriously? And I answered it in my own version, but well, what do you think?
I mean, right now it's wrong first step, but there's still a handful of games left in there to make a difference. So I think it's a good opportunity to take it seriously as much as possible. And if it just presents to be an issue, especially if they want to prioritize the regular season, I wouldn't blame them. But at the same time, I will definitely lean for them to like take this tournament seriously, even if it's just to play more of the bench players more often because it that's the opportunity it presents itself to be. I think like those wins and draws can go a big way mentally for the players.
Yeah, I was thinking like I don't. It's the first game out of 6 games in group play. I don't mind the rotation of players for this game. Will he continue to do it throughout the tournament? That's the question. Do I think he was taking NW the season more than the tournament? Too early to answer. It was just one game, but like I said, we expected a rotated lineup, so we got exactly what we expected. And he didn't try to just give up because he did put the All Star lineup in, and it didn't work out in the end. So I think he's taking it serious, and we'll see him try harder. But especially 3 of those games. I think the last 3 are when the World Cup's going on. So a lot of teams are going to be missing some players, and we get to play 3 more of those games then. But we'll see as we're going forward. But that was that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the big thing before we move over to the next game, it it just goes back to say to like to prioritize that type of cohesion, especially when the stars are going to be missing for the World Cup. We need those players, even the reserve players, to step up for that opportunity because those players may not be available for those types of reasons, and that's what we're going to need the most, obviously. And these types of results, like even if the Dash are prioritizing, assuming that they prioritize the league, it's still important to have them play to recognize what they do and try to understand each other better. That way, we can play better the next time because these types of results are unacceptable,
Yeah,
especially at home.
for real, you ain't kidding. And just a note, the World Cup, Mexico didn't make the World Cup, so we'll still have Sanchez and Ordonez. Salmon didn't get called up to the last England camp. That's I think just happened or is about to happen. So there's a chance that she may not be going to the World Cup. So we may not get hurt too much by the World Cup happening. So when we end this group stage, we may have our first teamers available still, and other teams won't. Hope we play
Yeah,
San Diego that week.
yeah. I do know that they're gonna be taking like a couple weeks off, but then even during the knockout phase, they're gonna be playing games. So those are still pretty important.
Yeah.
And yeah, we Dash did lose that game 2-0, and then on Saturday they did face the Washington Spirit on the road. Um, this was a scoreless draw. Definitely a big difference compared to the last game because we did not lose this game. So one
Yeah.
point,
We'll
one point for us.
take the 1 point. And I think you kind of described it best earlier when you were talking about it. It was just nobody wanted to sucker blow nobody in this game. It was just kind of going back and forth, not very exciting, uh, just kind of blah. And then the score showed for it in the end, 0-0. So nobody nobody had a real clear. I mean, there was a couple of good opportunities, but yeah, it's just a blah kind of game. So that's kind of how the week went for the Dash. It's just they need to get it out their system.
Oh yeah, and not much happened in this game really, but what I want to give credit to is Chappie for having a pretty great defensive performance, and I've been giving a lot of crap to Jane Campbell, but shout out to her as well for obviously keeping the clean sheet and just the team in general because making that transition from that tough result, especially when some of the stars did feature for a good chunk of the second half to come back and like even on the travel like to DC to get that important result, they did pull it off to an extent. Like even though we know for sure they prefer to win, they still got the draw. Like especially um in that turnaround time to travel and all that and yeah, like according to the Dash as well, like this is the best start of the season for Dash. Like yeah, Houston is off to the best start in club history with a one win, a zero loss, and three draw regular season record. And yeah, they're unbeaten in 4 games now. So I like the league.
I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. It's a good way to start though. Just that little blemish in the Challenge Cup, but that's okay. Let's keep going. And we got another tough one coming up with North Carolina. So it's week in and week out. The girls got to be in their best form, and just as long as we're not losing, I'm okay. But draws do hurt.
But yeah, and that game against North Carolina, I think I think it's gonna be one of those weird games because North Carolina, like, I think they're one of our Achilles heels, and like I don't know. I think that's a bad thing because
But
they
who's gonna make a statement in that game though? Where
it's
did
gonna
we
be
who came from
it's
North Carolina?
Ordonez for sure. That's gonna be her revenge game.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
gonna that's gonna be her revenge game. I feel like it's gonna be like a high scoring game though, so we'll see how that goes.
And I wouldn't call it a revenge game. Maybe it's a thank you game because she wanted to come back to Texas, and they were able to send her to the Dash. So I'm pretty sure that's the move she wanted, and the team gave it to her. So maybe it's a thank you game. Let me put 3 goals in against you. Take that back home. Yeah,
Yeah, here you go. Yeah,
yeah, for
no,
real.
oh yeah, it's good that North Carolina did grant her wish to like come back and it's just I'm just so happy to have her in the first place. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be one of those weird games where there's gonna be like 7 goals overall, and we might win by two. So we'll see how that goes.
After a 0-0 boring draw uh, yesterday, I'll take a 4-3 Dash win. I'll take one. I mean, I don't like the heart attack style, but let's go with it. I guess
Oh yeah,
the blood will be flowing. That's for damn sure. If it's a 4-3 game, going back and forth, edge of your seat. Oh no,
Yeah,
yes, oh no, yes, oh no.
you
But
you you just keep looking at the game so you don't miss it, and
yeah,
that's a good thing out of that,
yeah, for
except the
real.
suffering.
Yeah,
No, yeah, and before we move on to the Dynamo, we can just also go ahead and move to the NWSL recap just to see how everyone's doing so far.
yeah, man. So OL Reign hosted Chicago and won that game 5-2. So OL Reign looking as tough as always. They're 3-1, 3-1-0. So that's one loss, by the way. So they're looking good. We're still up there at the top, and then of course, like you said, Washington Spirit and Dash are both still undefeated with that 0-0 draw. Spirit have 2 wins though. Dash only had that 1 win. Freaking Gotham won again. They're 3-1, one loss. Beat North Carolina 1-0. Who North Carolina's coming in 1-3. So they're not. Doesn't look like they're playing too well. So, but what do we do at home? We suffer sometimes. Yeah, for Portland Thorns stay undefeated and win 2-0 on Racing Louisville. Louisville still with the only draw that was against us to start the season. And then today, KC Current on running now. Now they went 2 in a row. Their first NWSL win this today. They beat Orlando Pride 2-0. And then San Diego Waves 3-1 again, holding up the top of the league with a 3-way tie. Beat Angel City 2-0. So man, the looks like you can see who the front runners are already. 4 games going into the season, but I mean that doesn't always tell you everything. But Portland holding up the top. OL Reign, San Diego, and Gotham all tied in second place, holding up the top 4. And yeah, Houston's in the 6th spot, right behind Washington. So keep it up. And that's your NWSL recap.
Yep, and there's still a long season to go, and we will be rooting for the Dash wherever they compete, especially the league title.
Absolutely. Going for that
uh,
title.
yeah.
Once we
Now we're
figure
gonna
out
go
how to
ahead. Yeah.
score, once we figure out how to score, it's over. It's over, bro.
I mean, we're getting there, and they're feeding the ball out to Diana Ordonez, which I mean, it's expected. She's like our creator now, but I feel like we're like relying on her too much. But at the same time, I don't blame them.
Hey, they got to step it up. But that's okay. I love what she does. They'll get it together.
Yeah.
They'll get it together. Let's just get this whole friggin' win and start over.
Speaking of winning, though, let's talk about Dynamo because
What?
they won't stop winning at home.
Just as you say that, the highlights for the game. Come on. So here we go.
Yeah, that was ugliest win of the season.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got a clean sheet out of that game, and I don't know how we only scored 1 goal out of this game because both things could have gone out of control. And I watched the replay. I couldn't watch it live, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, how did this game end 1-0?"
Well, the side post helped us out.
Yeah, I mean the MVP of the game is the freaking goal.
Right. Yeah. It, and stupid Baird gets an assist this game just to fuel the talk.
Again.
Hey, granted at this time, again he makes the assist, but again he's on the wing when he makes this assist. He wasn't the striker because Sebas had came into the game. So that's like he does his little thing running around the whole game at the striker, and then whenever he gets put on the wing, he decides to get a good assist pass off. We score a freaking goal. So I don't know what I want to do right here. Maybe it's the new guy coming in that can help us in the striker role, and then Corey Bear can continue getting his assist over there. And just to remind you, your hot take, it's still 0-0.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, it's just it raises the stakes because no one's like at this point in the season, no one is better than the other person still. So
Right.
there's still a long season to go. And I'm feeling good about Corey Barrett. He's got a couple assists already. It's only a matter of time until he scores.
Hopefully, Sebas can get a hat trick in Tampa Bay if they give him the start. No.
uh,
Nah.
that'll be pretty insane. And
Yeah.
the sales people on Twitter will definitely freak out about it. Like, see, I told you, he can score goals, not Corey Baird. Why he keep starting?
Absolutely, that'd be crazy, bro. But whatever. Hey, just get him in there or get him out.
No, yeah, and just going back to the lineup, it's pretty much what you expect at this point of the season, especially with Achiachi returning from suspension. And Achiachi, like he's everywhere. Like I'm impressed. Like he's just everywhere, running up and down, following all the plays. Like even if he's just defensive plays, he's going to track back, get the ball back. He goes forward. He's gonna shoot the ball. He's gonna keep passing it inside the box. Like it's just insane how like everything just revolves around him.
MLS All Star and our captain. So he's playing like he is playing like a new man, and this is what we expected when he came over. With all the hype and everything, it was just like this is the type of Hector Herrera that we expected. Can he do it day in and day out? Everything's lining up right now. He gave himself a red card so he could take a break when he wanted to. He decided to take it against the Red Bulls, and now he'll get a break with LA moving their game. So we have no game this coming weekend, and sure as shit not, he's not going to play in the Open Cup game. So he gets a full week off. You just got to train with the team and just take it easy, and maybe he'll take some of the boys out to his boat or and just have a little party.
Yeah, and I guess to start with like the bad players from this game, I feel like Franco was a little bit off today. Well, that Saturday, and Franco, like he wasn't as bad as previous games, but at the same time, he did waste like a lot of opportunities. Like even though he was throwing like a lot of fouls to create more opportunities, like he was wasting the ball a lot. And I just don't feel it in here right now to like be starting.
Yeah, but I mean, who do you use if you don't use Franco over there? Range doesn't look good in that position. You saved Quinones, I guess, so he could play with Dose today. So who do you put over there? I mean, Achara is still hurt. Don't know when he'll be back. I heard a month from now. And then like I said, we got this new signing, so the new signing could change it up and put Baird back on the wing, and then it doesn't matter who starts. So obviously it would be Baird. So yeah, who do you start if you don't start Franco? You got to make a choice, I guess, and because there aren't many other options unless you change your formation.
No,
I don't
yeah,
see.
and for those that are unaware of what OSG is talking about, there is a rumor from Tom Bogert that he brought up today, mentioning that the Dynamo are finalizing a deal to sign a 21-year-old Nigerian international forward Ibrahim Aliyu from the Croatian First Division, and he Aliyu can play either as a center forward or a striker or on the wing, and we can definitely get a little bit into that. But if it wasn't like in this specific occasion, like I would definitely bet that he will be considered just with the fact that Achara is still missing and there aren't a lot of players available aside from Quinones that the team that are like in shape at least.
What do you uh, see him as playing? Do you see him coming in well, obviously, let's see him in practice for a minute. Coming in and being that striker, that center forward, is because technically that's what he wants is a center forward that hustles and runs and that pushes Bear back outside, and then maybe we'll see some actual goals come from the striker position, the number 9.
No, I mean at this point in time, like Baird, they gotta move him around because like he's not. It's just weird how everything is working, or at least how Bear is still starting as a 9, and we're still getting the 3 points, and the cycle continues.
Oh yeah, yeah. The annoying cycle continues, and even Sebas came into the game and played for 30 minutes. Nothing happened, so he didn't help his case at all. But he did get to play for 30 minutes, and so like you said, it just fueled up the fire again. But Sebas do anything in your eyes in that 30 minutes to be like, okay, hey, Barrett doesn't need to play?
I mean, in that span of time, he didn't do much, and it's just a matter of like him adapting to the game or just not figuring out Inter Miami defensively. And I'm just glad that he played. But at the same time, I, like nothing really stood out to me to to keep playing in that particular game.
Yeah. So, oh well, at least he got his opportunity, and again, Ethan Bartlow, man, is crazy the way he played this game, and Davey got a little wild there a couple times, and I thought one time when he did one of his kicks, it's like the referee was going to blow the whistle for sure, and he didn't. We kept playing, and I'm like, oh, God. He didn't hit nobody, but he's just in the friggin' air like a gymnast right there. But Ethan Barlow, bro, he took two rockets to the head. Like these balls were coming at him, and he just had them. And like that, Jesus, man's just on a mission right now. And I'm gonna hate to see him be the one coming out the lineup. I'm for the back five now. Uh, just because I don't want Bartlow to come out the game when Shevchenko pops in, and maybe they start all three with Hadavi in there.
Man, it's gonna be interesting when Sviatchenko comes in because I don't know if he's going to replace someone there or they may just add like a five in the back, which I don't think that's gonna happen. I definitely think that one of them is gonna get swapped out, but it's gonna be tough because Barlow and Teenage have been playing very well, and even if they play him out of position, like both our fullbacks have been doing pretty well. Like even Steres, which doesn't play fullback, and shout out to him for getting the goal here. And I did mention that before that he had his worst game of the season out of position so far this time around, and like even then, like he just showed up in the second half because like he just kept getting outrun by Inter Miami in a couple occasions, and he just came up big for that goal, and I shout out to him. I love him.
You know what? This may open the you say it's unlikely we do the back five, but it could be likely that we do a back five. Brad Smith got his first minutes finally, and we know he's more an attacking fullback, so he would fit in that back five role because he'd be the winger, the left wing fullback or whatever, pushing up into the attack. And then you got Steres and Escobar who have been doing well, pushing up and getting involved in the attack, but also can hold back and make it a back four at sometimes, depending on what the needs are. So it's very possible. And of course, the midfield three not going to change. It'll just take it'll take Franco off the field, who we were just asking, who do you replace him with? Well, you put him on the back five. So you bring Shashinko in, you take out Franco, you adjust the lineup a little bit, and and that's going to be Bossy and Baird up top playing together like that. And we'll see how it works, but there's nothing hinting at there'll be a back five. He did say, Ben also did say at one point that there's a possibility like that. So we'll see. It'll be curious what they do, but we won't get to find out for 2 weeks when we play RSL at home. And I imagine the Open Cup game that we have on Wednesday, it's going to be, the normal 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, probably the 4-3-3 with the lineup that he's going to be using most likely.
Oh yeah, and I'm not against the idea of having five in the back. It's just that I've always felt like Ben Olsen's going to stick to what he knows for now, and 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 it might just turn out to be like that down the road, like whenever we have to like switch around, or maybe Ben Olsen figured something out that wasn't working. Maybe they resort to five in the back at that point. But yeah, like
I think he's going to
there's
be
some,
forced to, bro. He's going to be forced to. If he wants to play Shevchenko, he's got the hard decision of pulling out Hadabi or Barlow, who are both looking like freaking all-stars right now. MLS all-stars right now. Just freaking killing it back there. How do you and they're consistent. They've got the team together on the back line. I mean, how do you break that apart? That's just a crazy thing. How do you break that apart? So, big decision for friggin' Ben Olsen to do. If I'm Ben Olsen, I'm just putting the guy in the last 20, 30 minutes of the game, and I'm taking out Hadavi or Bartlow, give him a rest, and let that man work, and then like get the fans. Okay, okay, okay. You could start him over Bartlow now. I don't know, but how do you do it? How do you take one out for him? That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the question. And you also did mention our upcoming game, which is actually the our first game of the Open Cup this year in the third round of the tournament. It's gonna be against the Tampa Bay Rowdies on the road, and this is gonna be interesting. Just considering the fact that there's going to be starters, I'm sure, and because we're no longer playing LAFC this upcoming weekend because they moved the game to June. There's definitely a more there's a better likelihood of the starters like showing up this time around, and with a mix of Dynamo 2 players along with the homegrowns, and I do think that we're going to be seeing some of the starters from this past weekend along with some of the homegrowns that weren't featured, like Brooklyn Reigns, for example, and along with some of the players that were featured for Dynamo 2 tonight, which I'll definitely say Quinones and Beto Avila. And I think it's going to be one of those games that they're going to be they're going to take seriously because it's just one of those competitions that we can make a deep run on.
Well, it's hard to tell, but the first teamers that I say that would get to play in this game would be Quinones. Well, you said Brooklyn Reigns would be one. I think Saucedo might be able to start this game and be that CDM with a little experience right there for this game. And then on the back line, maybe you see Brad Smith get a start. I don't know if he's quite ready to get a start yet since he just came back and only had one game. I don't know if you want to start Shevchenko if he's supposedly ready to play now, even though he hasn't played a minute for the Dynamo yet. So uh, that's definitely where Maples and Mikel will come in handy, being back there in the for the center backs because they know how to play with each other. Even though today's game happened, but it'll be okay, I guess, in the end. But so I'd be curious as to what lineup we get put out there, and who he uses. Papa Ndoye didn't play today; he was on the bench, so maybe they're saving him for Wednesday. Uh, Beto Avila, I hope he doesn't. So forget him. Maybe Thor gets to start, or maybe Sebas gets to start. I mean, why not, right? If you're not using Sebas any other time, use him for this Open Cup game, or just start Thor because you like Thor better than Sebas. So I think we'll have our. If you call the first team your A plus team and you call the second team your B team, I think we're gonna have like an A minus team going out there against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and if you guys want to know more about the Tampa Bay Rowdies heading into this competition, like we mentioned earlier in the episode, Instant Ramen should be up right now. James Knowles with RBLR Rowdies podcast. He talks more about how the Tampa Bay Rowdies are doing so far this season and how they play, and all around it's just a great. It was a great experience to learn more about that team. So I highly recommend checking that out.
And what I learned from that episode is that Tampa Bay potentially could be a very dangerous team. They're playing a season where they had some turnover in the player personnel, and they brought in some players, but the players they brought in hyped up the what the team would look like on paper a little bit more, and they haven't had that kind of season yet that they were expecting. So, it's a dangerous avenue because this is a do or die game, and you usually play better when you're the underdog, and if you can play up to your opponent. And I'd hate for them to be able to do it this game against us, because that'll make it tougher. Even though it's a small stadium, 7,000 people, so it'll be nice and quaint. But they could be pretty rowdy if they're able to get all the people to that stadium and root them on. But shouldn't affect the Dynamo. Just can we friggin' put away our chances? And this will be this will be a good battle, just for fun. Maybe the first half get a little bit of a slow start, but I'm hoping Houston can pull away from this game for like 2-0.
Oh yeah, and yeah, that's gonna be our game this upcoming Wednesday. There is currently no streaming information available, but for all the cup games, they're usually going to be available on the Bleacher Report YouTube channel. they're going to be streaming that live there, and I don't think it's going to be streaming live on HBO Max, but I do know that whenever it is streamed, which it should be confirmed either a few days before or the day of the game, it should be shown there by the Bleacher Report YouTube channel. So just keep an eye on that. I should be sharing the links as well in case you get misplaced. But yeah, um, Open Cup coming up. Don't miss it. Dynamo coming up with a four-game winning streak at home, being becoming the first team in MLS history to produce four straight clean sheets at home to open a season, which is pretty insane. I don't know how we got it, but we got it.
Bro. It's it. Hey, it's just the Ben Olsen Benny ball. It's Benny ball
Benny
playing
Ball,
playing defense first and shoot.
nasty.
Yeah, and that's what he means by bringing the nasty. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be ugly, like dirt ugly. That's what he meant by nasty. Not bringing the pain. He's bringing us pain, and uh, we could put some games away or we could get blown out. So it's been a dangerous game, but yeah, Benny Ball, we're having fun with it.
Benny Ball, yeah. And before we close out Dynamo and before we get to the MLS roundup, we already brought up Ibrahim Aliyu, the player that is rumored to become the latest Dynamo signing before the MLS transfer window closes this Monday. And I already mentioned that he's a 21-year-old Nigerian international, and he can play as a striker and a winger. And this definitely makes things interesting, only because Achara is still missing. Would have anyone to even come in as a sub off the bench to play as a winger, like even for or just like start or play for like Franco or however the piece want to be shifted. But yeah, it's just spice things up, especially the fact that he can also play striker. We have like a lot of strikers now to choose from, like even Corey Baird. Could you imagine Corey Baird not starting? But we'll
Woo!
see how that goes.
And this guy has to be a Ben Olsen guy. Has to be a type of player that fits the style that we want to go out and get this guy and to fly. Pat on said to fly to Croatia and talk to him personally and tell this guy we want him. He has to be the right fit and has to be the right type of player, which makes me excited because credit to everything Corey Bear's doing over there, and I guess keeping his starting position. He does hustle. He does bring the energy. He does try. He just doesn't try to put the ball in between the posts. So it'll be nice to see someone who can shoot. I'll
But
take the
yeah,
assist, though.
and just to follow up with like a question from Chris the Bad Guy, your favorite
So,
person, because he did ask about potentially benching Franco and starting Sebas on the wing, and for this particular situation, I don't know if that's going to be viable. Just having Sebas as a winger, but with Ibrahim Aliyu potentially coming in a couple days, that's definitely more possible.
yeah, do it whatever. I my first answer to this question is it wouldn't be a winger if Sebas is getting a start again. Baird's going out of the wing and Franco's going to the bench. So that's how you answer that question, Chris. Now, so and I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing a little more of that, of the snippets of it. With Baird on the wing and Sebas in the striker position, and with them having a bye this weekend, maybe this Tampa Bay game is a good example to do it because unless you have aspirations of winning the Up and Cup, which I don't know if they do, if Sebas and Bear doesn't work, change it up in the second half and do something better and try to make sure you win that game late if you're still in that kind of trouble. So, but it'll be interesting. I'm speaking of Elio, it sounds like all he's waiting on is his medical to come back. He may already have the visa in tow, so he may be on the pitch sooner than later, which is very good news.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait for Sviatchenko finally. I've been waiting for him for so long. Like it felt like a long time already, which already tells you.
Yeah, bro,
but,
I was
but
kind
yeah,
of surprised that he wasn't on the bench last night because I thought he was ready to go, and He wasn't even on the didn't even make the roster, so it's weird. So I don't know if we can use him yet or not.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks. But yeah, like with that, this is a lot to look forward to, especially in that Open Cup game and whatever's next against RSL and how they move things around. And with that, we can definitely get into the MLS round just to see how everyone's doing because I'm feeling good about Dynamo. We're the best mid-table team right now.
And we're above the playoff line still. Woo! After
Yeah,
7 or 8 weeks, 8 weeks I think it is. But yeah, bro. So there was a rumor thrown around today, which we can't hold accountable to the stake behind this rumor, but somebody posted that Sebas to Montreal and that we would be paying some of that salary. That was curious out there. So speaking of Montreal, they were at home and they beat the Red Bulls 2-0. So kind of annoys the hell out of me that Montreal,
yeah.
who's been horrible this season, goes and beats the Red Bulls.
I hate that scoreline. Yeah,
Yeah, Charlotte gets a win 1-0 at home against Columbus. FC Cincinnati beat Portland 2-1. Cincinnati continues to win. New England beats Sporting KC 2-1. KC continues to lose. Here was a fun one. NYC beat FC Dallas 3-1 in the baseball park up in New York. So Dallas lost. FC Frisco, North South Oklahoma. DC traveled to Orlando and won 3-1. Philadelphia at home beat Toronto 4-2. And of course, there's our game 1-0. Nashville and LAFC tied 1-1. Colorado and St. Louis tied 1-1. Real Salt Lake would beat up on San Jose 3-1. Seattle beat Minnesota 1-0, so Seattle gets back on the winning side of things. And then my favorite score of the week, LA Galaxy get their first win and score 2 goals and beat Austin 290, 2-0. So, and the Austin fans are up at arms right now, up at arms. They're like ready to jump off the bridge.
man. Imagine not winning on Saturday, but
Woo!
yeah, like it's interesting how things are turning out and how LA Galaxy got their first win this far into the season, and Kansas City is still struggling. I feel bad for them, honestly.
Dude, I don't feel bad for him. That's not my team. Somebody's got to be losers. It's not us. It's not us.
Oh yeah, and speaking of losers,
Oh man, the show's
let's
over.
talk about the show's over.
Yeah,
Dynamo 2.
yeah. Well, we
Dynamo 2.
we knew it was coming. Come on, man. 3 2-1 defeats in the season in 5 games so far. Winning, scoring the first goal in all 3 friggin' games. Come on, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, big brain
So
blowing up.
so we're coming off like we mentioned earlier in the episode. We're coming out of watching the Dynamo 2 game, and I was writing the script for like this episode and just getting all my notes together and like just watching the game live and how it transpired, especially like in the last 5 minutes. Like we we started winning in the second half. The first half was pretty good. Like we had like a chance to score like 3 goals there. We went to halftime scoreless. We started the second half winning by 1 goal off a penalty. We're looking pretty good, and then Asiel Flora gets sent off at a double yellow, gets a penalty drawn. They score the penalty. They start playing well, like with 10 players. Dynamo 2, they were about to score a couple of goals. They didn't score the goals. Off the break, like a couple of minutes before stoppage, like they scored the freaking second goal, and we're down. And I'm like, guys, calm down, please. Guys, we're doing
one
so
minute,
well.
one
One
minute left
minute
in
before
it. Yes.
in regulation, and I'm like, guys, please stop losing after scoring the first goal. Oh my god, man! Like it was so stressful. Like we get scored on. We're down 10 players, and I was like, oh crap, here we go again. We start playing well, and I was like, oh man, okay, we started going. We can get something out of this game, even with 10 players. 2-1.
Annoying,
um,
annoying too. Like you said, with like 45 seconds left on the clock, you're almost there. You're almost to penalty kicks. Come on, bro. And you saw how penalty kicks went last week, so you're like trying, and they had a brain fart. It's kind of like Dynamo did the week before against New York. Just had a brain fart and just forgot him. So yeah. I don't know why we did dose last tonight because now that's how I'm gonna have to go to bed. Is angry.
I mean, we gotta do chronological. We gotta do what we
Yeah,
gotta do. And
yeah.
look, this game we did see Quinones start, and I thought Quinones had a pretty good game. He just didn't get any goals to his name for unfortunate reasons. And and like I said before, I think we're gonna see him in the Open Cup game as well as Beto Avila. Like even though you don't want him to play, but
No, dude, I don't. I don't think he deserves it. We got two strikers that don't get to play on the first team, so Beto Avila can. I don't know what he can ride the bench for this game and maybe come in late if we got the lead. So that's how he gets to play striker. But otherwise, I'd rather see Thor or I'd rather see Sebas, and you can put Papa and Doyle on the wing as one, and you can put Quinones as the other. You got options. You could even use Lafleur too. So uh, you got options. And Quinones, bro, did have a good game today. But as I was watching him have a good game, I'm like, all right, obviously he thinks he's better than the MLS Next Pro League, but he knows he's not good for MLS League because taking on those defenders again. He does he. How come he can't do that when he's with the Dynamo? He would get the ball and he would take on the defenders and try to work his way into the box. With Dynamo, when he gets that, I don't know, like he just stops thinking and just becomes less of a player. So I'm glad he had a good game and it's something he can go back to. Coaches can be, look what you're doing, dude. Look, you're great. You held, you maintained possession. You got the pass off. You got the shot off, and just you need to do that when it translates to the MLS field. And just do it, bro. Don't be scared to take on those defenders just because they're bigger and better than you. Make them look bad. But credit to him, he had a good game. Probably the only one that had a good game, to tell you the truth.
no, yeah, honestly, like it's other than that it was a mess, and I don't really want to talk about it because it's like I don't know how to explain it. Like at this point, it's just psychological, and like Coach Bundy has to sort things out at this point.
Well, I mean, they get to travel. They get to travel to Kansas City next week, so they don't got to keep going. Got to figure it out. But now you're on the road, so going to be and against a rival team. So we'll see how that freaking goes because they're not an easy team to beat, and you're on the road in that Kansas. That's what that's just going to be. That's what I'm going to call it to be nice. Just Kansas, but
Missouri or Kansas? Say
yeah, Kansas, Kansas,
it.
Kansas.
Kansas, Kansas in Missouri, or or
Yeah,
whatever.
and that trip was annoying when I made that trip last year. It's like you flew into their airport in one state, you had to drive 30 minutes to get to the where the Kansas City SKC team plays for or plays. It's 30 minutes away and in a different state. I'm like, what the heck, bro? What the heck? Right, but luckily there was a casino right next door, so I was able to occupy my time while I was in that boring place because all it is shopping centers, a racetrack, and a casino. And of course, there was nobody racing, so nothing was on the racetrack. So yeah, that's it. But so hopefully the boys don't get bored with each other and spend too much time playing in the pool, and he can go out and beat SKC.
Yeah, they need more team bonding for sure. And yeah, would you like to do the MLS Next Pro recap
The
before we close out the episode?
next pro recap. Yeah, man. So it looks like they started with some games on Friday again, and uh, North Texas was playing SLC. I think it's like
Real Monarchs.
is it Real Monarchs? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, Real Monarchs. So North Texas hosted Real Monarchs, and I, bro, they lost. North Texas lost 1-0 in the 90th minute off a banger of a free kick. So if you want to get a chance to go see that one, watch the highlight of that game and just see how Real or SLC was able to win that game at the buzzer. And it wasn't an easy free kick either, but he blasted it and put it in the net. It looked like it was a good 25 yards out. It's a crazy shot. But anyways. The best team in next pro Philadelphia. No, I'm just kidding. I just like their academy. They tied Toronto 3-3, but nobody cares about them. So SKC, one of our other rivals, they lost 3-2 to Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So that's I guess you could say a good win for us, but we lose to Tacoma. And then Austin played LA and tied 1-1, went to penalty kicks, and LA wins 5-4 on penalty kicks. So Austin still gets a point. They don't get the 3 points because we need them to slow down a little bit. Because man, they've been playing pretty well and holding up the Western Conference division, not just our division, but overall. Which today I'll look at the overall standings for you real quick. So Austin still is holding up the West with 14 points. Charlotte for the crown or whatever they want to call themselves got 13 points, and Colorado's got 13 points. Woo, North Texas is 8, and I'm still looking for Houston. Oh, there they are. They're 20th. out of 27 to make it clear for y'all. It's not 20 out of 20. It's 20 out of 27 with 5 whole points. So they got some work to do.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. But that's your MLS Next Pro recap. Like we said, we play SKC next week. The Dash play North Carolina at home. So if you're able, now that that the Dynamo don't play at all, go check out North Carolina versus the Dash. That one's on the 28th. So it looks like that's Friday night, huh? Friday night. So
Yes.
go to the Dash game on Friday night, y'all. It'll be fun. It'll be nice, good temperature, and you get to see Ordonez score a hat trick on our former team that traded the first pick and the Rookie of the Year away for a gam.
Yes, go to the Dash games and root for Dynamo on Wednesday. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. It's been quite short actually compared to other episodes, which is pretty nice for a change because we usually go past the hour mark, so that's good.
Hey, I'm sure they're happy it's only 52, but hey, we got our points across, and that's what everybody wants to hear is get the points across and get to it. And we didn't dwell on the dose too much. That's our high note right there. We didn't beat them up too much.
Yes, that's good. No, yeah. Thank you guys. Y'all stay in, okay?
H's.